There's something about you that has been discovered, something so deep and powerful that there's no turning back, and no one knew they were about to unleash the worst nightmare. Chosen one, they discovered what they should have never known about you, and now regret is consuming them in a way they never thought possible. The secret you kept in the shadows is no longer a secret, and the pain of knowing the truth begins to erode everything around them. What seemed like mere curiosity is now a sentence, a weight that no one who dared to unearth it can bear. And the truth, my friend, is that you won't be able to hide anymore. But don't be fooled. What has been revealed goes beyond what you and they imagined. Something even deeper is moving behind the scenes, a force that is now taking over everything. You, who always knew something bigger was at play, now feel your life intertwining with something you can't control. And despite everything happening around you, the worst is yet to come. Because in the end, what you feel now is just the beginning of a much bigger, more dangerous and grander journey than anyone could have predicted. The calling can no longer be ignored, and no matter how hard you try, you will be dragged into it. Chosen one, the secret you held, hidden deep within your soul, has finally been revealed. What should have stayed hidden, away from prying eyes, is now exposed. And you knew, deep down, that this truth shouldn't have been shared, not with anyone. But something happened. Someone touched where they shouldn't have, and now the impact of this discovery can't be undone. They have no idea what they've unearthed, but you do. The weight of this moment weighs on everyone. What you tried to keep a secret has always been the key to something bigger. It was your protection, your secret strength, your invisible shield. Now those who dared to tamper with it are being consumed by the truth. They thought they were dealing with something simple, something they could understand, but they had no idea that by opening this door, they would have to face the chaos that followed. The feeling of regret is already overtaking them, and the scariest part is that they can't undo what they've done. You knew something bigger was at stake, didn't you? Maybe you didn't know how deep this secret went, but the feeling was always there. You always knew the truth was more powerful than they could imagine. What's been discovered isn't just a secret about you. It's a key that opens doors to something beyond their comprehension. And now, chosen one, the eyes are on you. And what comes next? There's no way to predict what this revelation could truly cause. It's no accident that you're hearing this now. The secret was exposed for a reason, and it goes beyond simple curiosity. There's something in you, something that these people should have never touched, and they're starting to realize this in the most painful way possible. Fear begins to take over them, but don't be fooled. The worst is still coming, and somehow you already feel it. You feel the weight of the responsibility of everything that's happening. And yet, there's more you don't know, chosen one. What's been discovered is only beginning to reveal itself. The impact of this, what it really means, you will still feel in a devastating way. The secret that's now in the hands of others is a ticking bomb, and you will be forced to face what comes next. Because believe me, what's coming is nothing like you imagine. The chaos is just beginning. But what will it bring? That's the mystery you need to understand now. Chosen one, you have no idea the weight these people are carrying right now. The fear is palpable. It's something that's already eating them from the inside out. They thought that by discovering the truth, they'd have control, but soon realized that what they uncovered is beyond any understanding. Fear, now, is the only feeling that accompanies them, and there's no escaping it. They're aware of what they've awakened, but it's too late. The truth can never be controlled. They're starting to understand that by touching this secret, they've opened a door to the unknown, something they can't see, but that is constantly watching them. What they thought was just a superficial discovery has now turned into a nightmare. Regret is intense, but the feeling of helplessness is even greater. They wanted to know the truth, but now the fear of what's coming paralyzes them. They can't hide from what they've triggered anymore. And the worst part is that even if they try, they can't go back. The secret has already been revealed, and there's no undoing what's been done. They find themselves trapped in an invisible snare, a maze of their own choices. The fear of facing the consequences consumes them, and they know nothing will ever be the same. You, chosen one, are now among them. There's no hiding from the truth that's been discovered, and that's what torments them the most. You feel the intensity of what's happening, don't you? Their fear is becoming real, and with each passing day, it's growing stronger. They try to convince themselves that they can go on with their lives as before, but the weight of what they know now holds them back. The fear is in every step, in every thought. What's been discovered about you is not something that can simply be ignored, not for them, and certainly not for you. But chosen one, what's coming next isn't just their fear. There's something more, something that's starting to move toward you as well. The impact of this discovery goes deeper than they realize. They're trapped by what they revealed, but you're about to understand what it truly means to be the bearer of truth. The question is, how far are you willing to go to face what's coming now? What will happen when you confront what lies ahead? Chosen one, you knew there was something bigger, something invisible watching it all. The secret wasn't just a burden for those who discovered it, but a portal to something much more powerful. What was unearthed isn't just a dark truth, but a presence that now begins to move with a force that no one can control. They, and even you, barely know what they've truly invoked by touching this secret. And now, this force is already in motion, waiting for the right moment. This presence that was awakened is not something that can be ignored. It's an ancient force that had been dormant in the shadows, but now begins to manifest in an unstoppable way. There's no controlling this chosen one. There's no stopping what's already been set in motion. The secret wasn't just a key to the unknown, but the release of something that's always been there, waiting. And now, with each passing second, it's getting closer to you, ready to reveal itself in a devastating way. You're starting to feel it, aren't you? A change in the air, an invisible pressure tightening on your chest, as if the world around you is being shaped by this force. It's not paranoia, it's real. Those who touch the secret are now trapped by the will of this presence. What they could never have predicted is that by unearthing it, they've awakened not just a mystery, but a power they can't dominate. And this power is now heading toward you, chosen one. You can't escape this truth. It's in you. It's in everything around you. But there's something even more terrifying in all of this. The presence you feel isn't just an external force, but something that's directly connected to you. You always knew there was something bigger in your life, but you never imagined this something would be so immense, so uncontrollable. The secret that was revealed is now intertwined with your destiny, and with every beat of your heart, you're more connected to this force. There's no escaping what's coming. There's only one question. How far will this presence go, and what does it want from you? Chosen one, what's about to happen to you has no return. The force that was awakened is closer than you can imagine, and the next step will be crucial. They don't yet understand what they've set in motion, but you, more than anyone, feel the weight of this truth. What will you do when this presence fully manifests? The answer to this question will determine not only your fate, but the fate of everyone around you. Chosen one, those who thought they were prepared for what they discovered are now sinking in doubt. They believed they had the strength to handle what was revealed, but the reality is crushing them. The power of the secret didn't set them free as they expected, but trapped them in a cycle of uncertainties and fears. The trust they once had is crumbling, and what seemed like a victory is now showing itself to be a prison. They knew something big was at stake, but now they're wondering if they're strong enough to bear the consequences. Every step they take leads them deeper into a reality they can't control. They can no longer find the clarity they once believed they had. Doubt begins to erode everything that was solid, and with it, their confidence starts to slip away. What they thought was just a challenge now feels like an endless torment. They're losing control, and the fear of not being able to deal with what they've awakened is taking over. But the worst part is that this doubt is not just about what they've done, but about who they've become by doing it. You can feel it, can't you? This uncertainty that now surrounds them is something you know all too well. You've always known that the power of the secret wasn't meant for just anyone, but now it's clear that even the strongest are being consumed by it. Those who believed they were in control now find themselves in an abyss of doubt, unable to see the way out. And what's worse, the more they try to pull away, the deeper they fall. They think they can escape, but the truth catches up with them with every step. They never imagined that a simple discovery could collapse their certainties. What was supposed to be a powerful revelation has become a curse. And what they don't know, Chosen One, is that this doubt that now consumes the others is about to hit you as well. There's no escaping it. You've always known, deep down, that what was revealed wouldn't be simple. Now you're beginning to realize that you too will be tested in ways you never imagined. The weight of everything that is to come is something no one is prepared to bear. The worst is yet to come. What you feel now is just the beginning of a journey that will test your very strength. They thought they would be strong enough, but they will soon discover that true strength doesn't come from controlling the secret, but from facing what comes next. And you, Chosen One, will need to find that strength within yourself. The doubt that haunts the others will be your greatest battle. But how far are you willing to go to confront it? Chosen One, you feel the tension in the air. Those who discovered the truth believed they could control the destiny that was unleashed, but now they see that nothing is under their control. The secret they thought they understood is bigger than anyone could have imagined, and the control they believed they had quickly turns into an illusion. What started as a search for power now reveals itself to be a race against time, and perdition is already in sight, closer than ever before. They tried to act as if they had control, as if they could shape events to their will, but the fate that was released cannot be manipulated, and it's destroying them. Every move they make takes them deeper into an abyss with no escape. What seemed like an opportunity has turned into a trap, and now the feeling of loss and despair consumes them. They can no longer turn back. Fate has already caught them, and they can barely understand what they've unleashed. The truth, Chosen One, is that neither they nor you are in control. What has been revealed now belongs to something greater than any human. The fate has been sealed and there's no turning back. Perdition is not a distant possibility, but an imminent reality. You can feel it already, can't you? The weight of what is coming. What was unleashed can't be reversed, and those who dared to unearth it now find themselves at the mercy of the consequences. What follows, you already know, will be devastating. But as much as they seem lost, there's something more you need to understand. What they're facing is not just the weight of fate. They're being led to something much darker. A loss that goes beyond the physical. The control they thought they had is being ripped from their hands. They can no longer escape the claws of the fate that is closing in. And the question that remains is, what will you do when you're the next to face this power that cannot be contained? Chosen One, what comes next is not just about the control that was lost. You are about to witness something even more terrifying. What lies ahead is not just a consequence, but a twist of fate. They couldn't control what they awakened, and neither can you. But what will happen when you come face to face with the true cost of this revelation? Fate is acting, and you need to decide which path to take. Chosen One, the moment has arrived. The choice you've avoided, the one you tried to ignore, is now knocking at your door. You may have thought you could escape this decision, but fate doesn't leave room for escape. What lies ahead of you is no longer an option. It's no longer something you can put off. The truth is, by discovering the secret, you've already made your choice, even if you didn't realize it. Now, the consequences of that choice will begin to unfold, and you'll be forced to act. What you didn't realize when you got involved with what was revealed is that the choice had already been predestined. Ignorance can no longer be your ally. The path ahead is not an avenue full of options, but a narrow track, and you must walk it. The pressure builds, the sense of urgency becomes more real with each passing day, and now you have no control over the next steps. The fate that was released demands something from you, something that can no longer be avoided. The choice you never made will now be forced upon you, and there's no turning back. You feel it, don't you? The weight of this decision. You know you can't hide anymore. You can't hesitate. Those who thought they could manipulate what they discovered are now facing a one-way path, and you are no different. No matter how much you try to escape, the choice will be made for you, through your actions, through what comes next. The truth, chosen one, is that this choice is no longer up to you. It will be made, and you'll simply watch as the doors open to what is predestined. The question then is not whether you will make this choice, but how you will react when it is forced upon you. You're already being pushed toward this moment, and what happens next will define your fate. You may try to convince yourself that you're in control, but that control is an illusion. What has been awakened cannot be ignored, and you're about to see the real impact of this truth in your life. The choice you never made is about to become the only thing left for you to decide. Chosen one, don't be fooled. The pressure to make this choice will grow, and soon you won't have any space left to resist. The path ahead of you is uncertain and frightening, but there's no turning back. What comes next will demand your action. What will you do when you face it? What will happen when you finally come face to face with the weight of a choice that wasn't yours, but one that now you'll have to carry? Chosen one, you can't ignore the call that now echoes in your mind. No matter where you go, that sound is always there, pressing, demanding your attention. Those who touch the secret, can't escape this call either. The truth that was revealed has spread, and now everyone around is being swept up by this invisible force. What you didn't know, and what they didn't understand, is that this call cannot be silenced. It demands something from you, and you know that deep in your soul. What you feel now is not just a vague sensation, it's an immense force, growing stronger with every second. They didn't ask for this, but now they're as involved as you are. There's no hiding, no running away. The call has already been made, and the truth is that it will only grow stronger. You've heard this call before, maybe in a more subtle way, but now it's impossible to ignore. It's shaping your destiny, and you, chosen one, are getting closer to understanding why. But no matter how much they try to avert their eyes or block their ears, this call won't disappear. It begins to take over everything around you, and you feel it. It's not just a sound or a distant voice, but a presence that invades your consciousness and whispers truths you can't deny. Those who were so confident are now being dominated by this call too. They don't know where it will take them, but they have no choice but to follow. The same is true for you, chosen one. You may try to ignore it for a little longer. You may even try to move away, but the call won't stop. It takes root inside you, grows and spreads, and soon you'll realize you can't live in peace until you follow it. They, who were so confident that they could control what they revealed, are now trapped by the same force. And the question remains, where will this take them? Where will this call guide them? And what will happen when you finally decide to take the step that's being demanded of you? Chosen one, what will you do when the call becomes inescapable? The next step will be crucial. What happens when you can no longer deny the truth that's being whispered in your mind? The decision is now being made by greater forces. What comes next doesn't depend on you, but how you react will be the key to what follows. The only question left is, will you be ready for what comes now? Chosen one, now that the truth has been revealed, something unexpected has happened. The power of what was discovered is, in some way, in your hands. The control that others believed they had is now shifting to you, and with it comes a responsibility that few can bear. You feel it, don't you? The weight of this power, the freedom to make decisions that could change everything. But the question is, how long will you be able to hold on to it without it spiraling out of control? This power is not easy to master, and with every move you make, it grows, spreads, taking on unexpected forms. The truth, Chosen One, is that the control you now possess is not something you can maintain for long. The more you try to hold on, the more it slips through your fingers. Those who believed they could use this power to dominate are now seeing what you already know. Control is an illusion. You may have temporary command, but for how long will you be able to resist the chaos that comes with this truth? The temptation to use it, to shape reality in your favor, will grow stronger. But you know you can't let it consume you. And here lies the real dilemma, Chosen One. The power of what was discovered is like a blazing flame. It can light the way ahead, but it also has the potential to consume everything it touches. The control you have now seems strong, but there's more at stake. What's in your hands is, in fact, a responsibility that could turn into destruction. You need to understand that what you do with this power will not only define your fate, but the fate of those around you. The question that remains is, are you truly ready to carry this weight, or will the power begin to consume you? What you didn't know, Chosen One, is that the more you manipulate this power, the harder it will be to keep it. Those who thought they could control everything are now seeing how vulnerable they've become. What seemed like a victory now makes them prisoners of their own choices. They can no longer escape what haunts them. And you, as much as you have control now, will you be able to maintain it until the end? The weight of the decisions you will make from here on out will be immeasurable. But there's one thing you need to understand, Chosen One. The power now under your control won't just disappear. It will challenge you, test your strength, and most importantly, force you to make a decision you can no longer delay. What will happen when that control begins to fragment? What will become of you when the power you hold turns against you? Chaos is beginning, and now more than ever, you need to understand what this means for your future. Chosen One, the moment of truth has arrived, and what comes now is inevitable. Those who thought they could control what was revealed, those who believed they were in command, now find themselves face to face with an irreparable mistake. What seemed like a chance for victory now turns into a fatal flaw, something that cannot be fixed. You, more than anyone, know that once fate is revealed, there's no turning back. The outcome ahead won't be what they imagined, and the consequence of this mistake will be overwhelming. They tried to manipulate what they didn't understand, and now every action they took turns against them. The mistake they made is not something simple, something that can be fixed with words or regrets. What has transpired is etched in the fabric of fate, and the weight of it is already more than they can bear. You realize this, don't you? What started as curiosity is now a condemnation. And though they can no longer escape what they've triggered, you are also bound to this truth that in some way involves all of you. The doubt that once consumed them has now turned into a painful certainty. The mistake was made, and there's no turning back. What seemed like an opportunity has become the deepest of traps, and what you, Chosen One, need to understand is that this truth isn't just about them. It's about you, too. The decision that was made, the path that was taken, now brings forth a mistake that can't be undone. And you are about to see the impact of this in a way that will change everything. You must accept, Chosen One, that the mistake is not something you can erase or avoid. What has been revealed has now become part of your journey, and you'll have to live with the consequences of it. The pain that will come will be immense, but it won't be in vain. Every step, every move you make will be marked by this mistake, and it will define your destiny. What will you do when you realize there's no turning back? The answer to this question will determine whether you rise or succumb. But the real question that arises now is, what comes next after this inevitable mistake? The outcome is drawing near, and the weight of everything that has happened will define the next steps. Chosen One, you've already realized that nothing will be the same. And what comes after the impact of this failure, are you ready to face it? Because the end of one journey brings the beginning of something even more powerful, and you will be forced to walk this new path, even if you don't know where it will lead you. Chosen one, the end of the journey is approaching, and with it comes the final warning. Everything you've done until now, everything you've faced, has brought you to this crucial point. The path ahead of you is unclear, and the decision you make from here will not only change your fate, but the fate of everyone around you. The truth is that the moment of choice is before you, and there's no more time to hesitate. What you decide now will define the direction of your life. You feel the weight of this, don't you? The power to decide, to change everything, to turn the key of your destiny is in your hands. But there's a dilemma. The decision you make won't be easy. What lies ahead of you is challenging, and you know you can't hide anymore. There's no more room for escape. What comes next will be the reflection of your courage or your weakness. And, chosen one, you need to understand that the choice is now or never. But what you don't know, or perhaps don't want to know, is that this choice is beyond what you see. It's not just about what you do, but about the impact of that decision. What you decide will affect not only your life, but the lives of everyone around you. This is more than just a simple choice. It's the closing of a cycle and the opening of something even bigger and more challenging. You will be tested in ways you never imagined, and your response to this will be the key to your survival. Now, chosen one, you find yourself at a point of no return. What will become of you after this choice? What will happen when the weight of all the previous decisions falls upon your shoulders? You've always known, deep down, that what was revealed wasn't just about you, but about everyone who walks with you. Every choice, every move you make from now on will be a reflection of your true strength or your doubt. But in the end, what will you do? What happens when the choice is made and there's no turning back? The final warning is not just about the future, it's about the now. Chosen one, you're about to enter a new chapter, and what you decide now will be the key to everything that is to come. Are you ready to take responsibility for your choice? The path ahead of you depends on you, and you must be prepared for what comes next. Chosen one, the journey you began is about to reach its climax. The weight of the choices that have been made and the impact of the revelations that have surfaced cannot be ignored. The truth is that you are being shaped, forged by the fire of the decisions you've made, and the path ahead of you will not be easy. But it is your courage, your inner strength, that will determine how you face what comes next. What you choose now will define not only your destiny, but the legacy you leave for those around you. It's time to stop running, to look to the future without fear, to embrace the power you've discovered within yourself. What comes after this choice will be more challenging than anything you've ever lived through, but you've been prepared for this. Every step taken up until now wasn't by chance, and every difficulty faced isn't a curse, but a preparation for what you will become. True strength comes from the courage to move forward, to face the unknown, and above all, to accept that the power is inside of you. Now, the question is, are you ready to face what comes after this choice? Are you prepared for the consequences of your path, knowing that each move will lead you to a new level of understanding and power? The decision has been made, fate is sealed, and what comes next will be the greatest challenge of your life. But remember, chosen one, you are not alone in this journey. The power of your decision can change everything, and now, more than ever, it's time to walk with confidence, knowing that the future is in your hands. Now it's up to you. What will you do?